Everyone, it's Commander Raduk, and I'm going to bring to you another trade video. So a couple folks have asked about outfitting, and so I'm just displaying my current outfitting of my Anaconda. There's a couple things I could do to increase my jump range if I wanted to. I could reduce the power plant down to something a lot lighter, and that would increase the jump range and probably, uh, you know, allow me to also change the distributor to maybe something different, although I'm down to an A5, which is pretty small. And that would allow me to maybe drop some of my hard points. But a lot of the hard points I have on here, along with the large power supply, is in place for a reason, and that's because I only need a 17 light year laden jump for this particular route. So I'm well on my way, as you can see here, to Elite. Uh, and right now I'm sort of just running this route until I can maybe make Elite. So it's not necessarily the #1 best route ever, but it's pretty solid and consistent. So I figured I'd share it with you folks if you're looking for something. It's a pretty good one. So it's buying consumer technology, and I am out here at Adams Orbital. Adams Orbital is currently located, or not currently, but is located out here in a system called Beta 1 Toucan. And we're going to go from here, and we're going to go to a system that, again, I've been back and forth to a couple times, which is, let me show you over here, Shap Sugabus. You'll see this is an Aisling Duval controlled system, and this is a Zemina Torval exploited system. This is sort of playing power plays against each other, if you will, for the advantage of the trader. And you'll see that when I make that trade. So here we go. We're going to head on over. This route has been pretty decent, at least for me. I haven't had to deal with much in the way of piracy or anything of that nature. That doesn't mean that it won't happen on this jump or it won't happen to you. But for the most part, I think because these are both controlled systems, they're fairly well policed, and so therefore you should have a limitation, if you will, in the amount of pirating that you're actually going to see. So I've done all sorts of trading. Bulk trading is my favorite. I think it's the best way to make money, and really the key to it is finding a route that makes the money you're looking for in the amount of time that it takes you to run it. To that point, there's things to look for, but don't get obsessed with looking for that perfect trading route, that you ignore a perfectly good trading route and ignore the profit potential. What I mean by that is that this is a good example of something that breaks some of the rules. This is a double jump route. One of the stations is actually over 3,000 light years away from the star, and some may exclude that from their sort of lookings, if you will. But if you I've timed this route, and you can essentially run this route in about 10 to 12 minutes and make the profit off the route, which for me is typically around 1.4 to 1.6 million per drop on a round trip. And so if you can make that, right, so if you can do that about 5 times an hour, well, now you're just around that 6 million per hour mark. And while there may be opportunities to make more per hour, just if you just look at the pure math, a lot of times the math doesn't work out because you're not taking into consideration that the route itself may be volatile, may go away faster, may not have what you're looking for, may force you to do something else, which is really the case in a lot of routes. That if you use any sort of trading tools to go look at, you'll notice that a lot of times supply is not in great amounts in a lot of those routes that are out there, and therefore it creates a lot of volatility in the market, And yes, while those routes will exist and they will replenish themselves, they're not something that you can grind at consistently over time. And again, with bulk trading, it's all about how many hours you're putting into something. So, even if there's some fluctuation and you're going up and down in how much you're making, that's okay, because consistently that's going to work itself out and you're going to make more money over time. So, again, something to consider when you're bulk trading is that it is, again, about how much time you're spending, how much what your risk level is like. All of those things should be considered when you decide if a route is worthwhile or not. And that's the case for me here. This to me, is a very low risk route. It's double jump, so it doesn't take too long, and you're going to see that the profit is extremely high. So it's not only is it worthwhile, but it's also less susceptible to some of the fluctuations in prices, because the amount of supply that's available in both locations that I'm buying from are both high levels of supply. And even though one of the drops is a medium demand drop, the amount that they're paying for it is high, and so I'm able to take advantage of that. Now that is tied directly to power play. So it's something that I find interesting is that some people felt that by not pledging to a power, they've chosen not to participate in power play, when really you can't get away from power play. Power play is in the game, and you just have to find a way to exist within it. For me, I have found a way to exploit it. Something common I've started to notice with trading routes is that trade routes that exist between two different exploited power, I mean, really, as one might expect, are really your greatest opportunities for profit. Some of that is given away even in the descriptions of what some of the global benefits are of that power. But remember, those benefits that are global benefits, those global benefits of controlled and exploited systems, those do not require you to actually be pledged to that faction to receive those benefits. You simply need to partake in activities within that particular star system. Very important to remember with power play that you take advantage of power play without even pledging a power. So this was at 1593 a ton. You'll see I'm like 720,000 off this drop here, and then I'm going to go ahead and take a nice buy, which is going to be in the beryllium 7639. It's a high supply of it. It's an excellent amount. Drop it here, and here we go. Now we're off and running. Now I want to show you something. This is particularly, you probably saw it when I first did the navigation map, but this is why I buy spaceships in different stations. Because I can just scroll out, there's Beta Toucan, boom. That easy is how I can navigate. Now you'll see I've taken this activity pretty extreme. Currently in the world, I've got around 253 ships, and kind of give you an idea of what the galaxy itself looks like. You'll see even with the power play overlay that I've been to a lot of different parts, but there are also parts I haven't really been to, right? So anyway, something that I do to kind of try to map things out, but it also has its place as well when it comes to being able to design quick trade routes. Now, just to give you an idea of how big humanized colonized space is, this is out here is CEOs and SODIS, which are the furthest two space stations from the rest of Sol and the rest of the humanized space, and you can see how far away you truly are from everyone else. So, just a little interesting view on perspective there, and as well as why I do that to help myself with trading. So, all right, let's go ahead and jump on out. And we're back through here, and we're heading on over to Futhark. So I think it's cool, some of the upgrades the game has now put into play when it comes to the missions. I did some of those out in Sothis that allowed you to really make a lot of money from finding rare missions. Some were smuggling missions, some weren't. Some were just plain trade missions. So you can now go out there and even at very low rank find missions that are at, rewards in the millions. I stumbled upon something that was going on out in Sothis, and I can't explain this. I'll just share with you my experience. So I flew out to Sothis to check out what was going on, and after picking up a mission of about 1.3 million to jump that about, I think it was something like 400 or 300 light years away, something extreme. The next thing I knew, I ended up in a place where they had rare commodities at Sothis, and not only did they have rare commodities, but they had a lot of rare commodities. 400 of I think the Sothis crystalline gold is what it's referred to. So I picked up 400 of that gold, and I jumped it to the station where the mission, which was like to run hydrogen fuel, had led me to. And just in that one little, between the mission, which was like 1.3 million, and then dropping the Sothis gold sold for 22,500 per ton at that distance, which gave me a profit of 8.9 million. Crazy, right? And here I can prove it to you, of course. You can look over here and you can see under my statistics when it comes to trading that my highest single transaction is 8.928 million, and that was from that one event. So I dropped that off and I flew back out to Sothis thinking, wow, I just found a huge way to make money. But this time, the only amount available was 200 cargo. So, 200 was still a lot, so I flew that back. Flew again, and ever since that point in time, there's only been 20 available. So I haven't been back out there ever since only finding 20. But it was an anomalous event that made me realize that there's a lot more going on to the game sometimes than you think, and sometimes you stumble along stuff that you might not stumble across otherwise if you weren't just kind of putting yourself out there and exploring around. So very happy to see something like that added to the game. So I for one certainly am looking forward to Horizons and the ships upgrade as well. I'm excited for ships. My next step here after I get to Elite as a trader is going to be to continue ranking up with the Federation. I want to be sure I can buy the Federal Corvette when it's released. And then, I feel like right after that should be when Horizons is coming out. Horizons is coming out pretty quickly here. And I'm excited. I think that there's going to be a lot of new opportunities when it comes to, I think landing on planets is a cool thing. I think that doing like assaults on space stations or space ports and stuff will be cool. I'm wondering if there's going to be new trading opportunities. So they've talked about maybe some bigger trading ships, and now that it's not just space stations, we can actually land on some planets and things like that. Will there be opportunities to trade in larger objects that maybe are bigger than just the 1 ton, if you will, size? Is there going to be opportunity there? That's what I'm curious about. To me, all along they've established trading as sort of the number one base way to make money, and it still is. I think it's great that they've added ways to make money otherwise. So it's cool that you can grind up and make some money in combat, and you can do that in exploring. I think that's great. I think the game needed a path besides trading, because trading is for some folks just not a fun activity. But even with those paths, by far and away, trading is easily the best way to make money in this game. There's nothing that is even close. And in fact, even low-tiered trading is more of a moneymaker than your best tiered of your other skills, right? So when I look at low tier trading, I think of that as anything that isn't at the top end of bulk trading. So if you're not trading in palladium or right now where I'm running beryllium only because it's a better option than palladium. But if you're not trading in the most expensive components in the largest amount, that's okay. You can still make decent money in the lower ends of trading, whether it's initial bulk trading or the rare trading stuff. You can still make more money than what you would make doing combat or exploring. So I would expect then as Horizons gets released that they're going to kind of continue and expand on the options of trading, and hopefully one of those options will be some planetary stuff. So I'm certainly excited for that and looking forward to it. So done a little bit of CQC. I put together a little bit of a video for that. Wasn't overly happy with how it came out. Some of my came out a little blurry, I think, because of my graphics being captured the way I'm doing the video capture. So I haven't really posted that publicly. I still may, because I know some of you that watch these videos haven't seen things like CQC, so thought I would post something up. So look for that in the future. Other than that, though, this is trading. Again, kind of to grab you if you've watched this far, and if you're wondering, I don't trade slaves. That's just because I think it's something that's not necessary in a game, and I don't want to partake in it. So all the trading stuff that you see is slave free. I only play in open play. I don't play in solo or private groups, and I'll accept anybody on my friends list. So if you're looking to play, or if you're playing, you're looking to expand that friends list, reach out, send me a friend invite. As the game continues to expand, certainly options to group are going to become much more enticing, and I'm more than willing to do that as well. Also, if you're looking to partner up and trade, look me up. Feel free to fly out. I'm glad to group up with anybody. So, all right. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. This here will be the kind of reflection of the final profit, if you will, now that we're back where we belong here at Adams Station. So let's see what we're going to make. Oh, here's the beryllium, and see 1451 on the way back. So it was like 721 way, 655 the other way. Again, there's more money to be made elsewhere, no doubt, but this is a nice, consistent route. Look at this, high demand still, nice high supply of the consumer, even consumer technology, which is only a medium supply. You've still got a lot in that medium supply. So, right, well, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will be possibly seeing you in game. Later.